The project sort of included lots of workshops with museums, talks, visits, so the kids could get a real understanding of the sort of impact of war and the idea of remembrance really, and why these memorials were put up. Started the workshops with a visit to Cyfartha Park Museum in Merthyr. The kids took part in workshops where they learnt about memorials in the area, and they actually did a sort of clay workshop.
We made some clay models and we were doing little statues.
So this is called a maquette, actually. Have you heard that word before? Maquette. Because what sculptors do is they make a little model, exactly what you're doing today. They make a little model of the sculpture before, and then afterwards it's blown up full size.
Well, we were looking at the reason behind people vandalising these war memorials, and it made me think that a lot of people have knowledge of the war, but we don't really always think about the human perspective.
We got a writer in called Des Barrett. He's a professional writer. We asked him to do some workshops with the kids actually.
Great, let's go.
And he got them to actually write down like letters if they were from the front. It was trying to get, you know, the emotions out really of what it was like to be involved in the war.
Mary Queen of Scotland. Now then, if you have a
Some of the children then, they went to London. They actually stayed on HMS Belfast, which is on the Thames, so they could actually see what a genuine warship was like actually, and I think they slept on the bunks downstairs, you know, and we had a tour actually all around the ship. I think the ship was actually used during the Second World War.
I think we're almost to the huge thing that looks like a plunger, wooden plunger, and it's full.
So after that, we actually went to the Imperial War Museum.
I will be showing you some things that we were thinking about this morning, okay? Just to answer...
When they went to the Imperial War Museum, they met one of the education officers called Grant Rogers. Spoke to them for quite some time about World War I. They looked at some footage of film from World War I, and at the end of the session they were allowed to handle artefacts, which they certainly enjoyed.
And I didn't really realise how heavy the guns were and the rifles, and I actually picked one up and I couldn't imagine trying to shoot people with that. Trying to just hold it up was a bit of an effort. I've just learned like what it would have been like down in the trenches, like the smell of dead people and all shell shock and all that sort of stuff.
You know, London has got some amazing memorials, so we took them to the Cenotaph in Whitehall.
The majority of the children who went to London, it was the first occasion that they had linked the Cenotaph as a physical building to something that they'd seen on television. So actually being at the Cenotaph and seeing it, I think for many children, again brought home the horror of World War I that we'd been talking about and discussing.
We then went into the school to actually do some artwork with the kids and some animation. What we wanted them to do actually was look at war artists from that era. We were particularly looking at Otto Dix. He's a German artist, and he really did some amazing pictures of his experiences in the war.
This man who drawed in the war, now like if I see charcoal I might buy it and like draw in his style of the film, because it's quite a good style. As you said, like it's not too neat or it's not too tidy, so it sort of puts the emotions into the picture. Yeah, we've done loads of drawing with charcoal, and we had to do loads of pictures.
Like, you know, with the spokes, as if the barrel isn't in.
They did some of the animation, some sand animation under the canal with Gerald.
So the creators like
That's mine.
So we had artist Carlos Panatti. He came in to help us make a memorial I'd designed.
24, start with the white line there, at number 23 and number 28.
I collected some objects which the children then pressed into the clay tiles which Carlos had made. Then we made a wooden frame and the plaster was poured into this wooden frame. When the plaster was set, we took the clay off to reveal the tile underneath.
Every child in Year 6 has been involved in creating a tile. They're very proud of the tiles that they've produced.
George Gardner from Royal British Legion came down and he had a really good chat with them about the meaning really behind the memorial.
Again, I think it was surprising that some of the children did not know of the existence of the Portmorlis War Memorial.
It was really vandalised, it was really bad. The main statue had been taken away and loads of people had drawn on it. Well, I felt a bit sad that it had been vandalised in the way it had, because Merthyr hasn't really got many memorials to remember the war.
I think they've had a huge opportunity to study history really at first hand. From the time that we went to the Imperial War Museum, the children were so interested in World War I as an aspect of history in the past, and then following it up through artwork has been a tremendous experience for them. They've been working with specialists in animation and clay, and they've learned techniques that in school we would have been unable to teach them.
If we start instilling these ideas in children at a young age, we hope that as they grow older that they won't be doing these things, so that they'll be these memorials will be preserved and we'll able to see future generations be able to appreciate them.